Hi friend, welcome back. This is going to be a super relaxed behind the scenes work session while I write a blog post. You might hear my kids or the dog in the background, and this is just how my workday looks a lot of the time. I'll talk through step by step how I do this process of writing a blog so that you can follow along or get some ideas for your own workflow. And if you're just getting started on Pinterest, if you're interested in Pinterest to market your blog, make sure you grab my free guide, 15 things to do before you start pinning. It's the perfect way to set yourself up for success before you dive in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I do is go to my ideas for my blog posts that I've gathered. I've got a document with a lot of different ideas. Right now I'm pinning and writing blog posts on Christmas ideas. So the next one I have here is family Christmas gifts. So that's what I'm going to write on today. And I use ChatGPT to make my workflow a lot quicker to help me write my blog posts. And usually I have a custom prompt that I use in ChatGPT to add my own voice to it to make it sound like me and not robotic, and to make it have the output that I want. So I have that custom prompt saved, and then of course after I'm done with the ChatGPT output, I read through the blog post and add my own little things to make it seem more like mine, and to add my own stories and my own input so it's not just ChatGPT. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So let me go to my prompts that I have saved, and I'm just going to copy that and paste it into ChatGPT. And one of the things I need to add into here is what my blog post is about. So the first one, the blog post that I'm doing today that I have, is the family Christmas gifts. So I'm going to copy that and paste it into my prompt so ChatGPT knows what I want my blog post to be about. And then hit enter. And while that generates, I am going to get a Word document opened up on my blog post, because after ChatGPT does its thing, I paste the output into a Word document. So I save all my blog posts. So family Christmas gifts. And then I will open that up. And let's see, ChatGPT should be done. So I don't really like this output because it doesn't have it by different family members, and that's what I was going for. So I'm going to add a little bit more context to this. So give me gifts for different members of the family. Give me about 10 gift ideas for each type of family member. And let's see what that comes out with. Okay, and it's still not exactly how I want it, so I'm gonna say make this into a blog post. A lot of times you have to prompt ChatGPT more than once to get it to give you what you want, but eventually it does if you know how to put the right prompts into it and ask the right questions. So now here it's going to give me a section: gifts for mom, gifts for dad, gifts for teenagers, for young kids, grandparents. So it's doing more so what I wanted it to do. Siblings. Okay, so I'm going to copy this because I like this. So I'm going to put it in here. And I'm also going to ask it to give me a section on, give me a section on gifts for the whole family, because songs, that would be a good one. Okay, so here's this section I'm going to add. Okay, so I'm going to copy that and paste it into my Word document and take out all of that and take out this first part of the ChatGPT output. So usually I use a specialized prompt as well to do my intro, just because I have a specialized prompt that makes it sound more like me in the way that I want my intros to sound. And a lot of times the prompts that I put in, the intro doesn't sound right to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my intro prompt here and put it into ChatGPT. Okay, and let's see what the intro comes out as. Okay, so I'm gonna use that, and of course I'm gonna go back and read all of this. I'm not gonna take up time doing that here, but I will read through this and edit it, take things out, add my own words. So it's a long process of editing even after you use ChatGPT. So I never just take the output and then paste it in and publish the blog as is. I always do some form of editing. So I do the same thing with the conclusion, because I usually don't like the conclusion it comes up with. So I have my own specialized prompt for conclusion. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Okay, so here's my conclusion, and I'm going to paste that in there. Let's see. Okay, yes, at the very end. Okay, so I usually put a number in front of my blog post. So I'll say 25 Christmas gifts, or 50 fall party ideas, or whatever. So I'm gonna select all of this. This is the total blog post that ChatGPT gave me, and ask how many ideas are in here so that I can put it in the front of my blog post name. So let's see what that comes out with. So that's 70. So I'm gonna name my blog post 70, and then I love a good word like fun or affordable or something like that after the 70. So I'm gonna say 70 affordable, because that's a good one. When I go to pin, a lot of people on Pinterest like to look for things that are affordable, cheap, low cost. So I'm going to call this 70 affordable Christmas gifts, family Christmas gifts. Okay, so now that's done. Like I said, normally I would go through and put my spacing in. I would read this and put my own input in it, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that in this video. So let's just say that I've already done that part. I'm going to copy that from my Word document, and then I'm going to go into WordPress and just paste it right in. And then I'm also going to go to my title. Instead of retyping it in, I'm just going to go here and copy it. And by the way, you don't have to use, I'm using Microsoft Word. You don't have to use Microsoft Word. You can use Google Docs, and then I use Excel to track things here. You don't have to use Excel. You can use Google Sheets. It works just as well. So I'm going to paste in my title there. And then I always like to put a fun picture in my blog post. So I'm going to show you that here. So usually something that looks like this. So I'm going to copy, this is in Canva. So I'm going to hit these dots up here and copy, make a copy. And I'm going to rename it the 70 Affordable Family Christmas Gifts, so that I can track all of these. correct that spelling there. Okay. And correct it here too. Okay, so I'm going to change out the words in this. This is what's going to go into my blog post. It's just a catchy picture when people click on the post. So let's see, copy this and paste it in, and then I adjust the sizing a little bit. And then I'm going to change the background. Even though this is Christmas, I already used this for something else, so I'm just going to type in Christmas, or maybe family Christmas. I like to find pictures that convey what the blog post is about, so that people will know what it's about immediately, just even looking at the picture. So I don't like it when the faces are hidden, so let me try to find another one that's a little bit better. I don't think I've used that one before. Or let's just try Christmas gifts. Okay, so this one looks like a good one. Well, that might be the one that I used last time. No, it's different. Okay, so let's use that one. Okay, so once I have this the way that I want it, I'm going to hit share and download. And I download it as JPEG because it's a smaller file size, and I don't want too large of files on my blog to slow it down. So I do JPEG, and then I use this tool called TinyPNG that further reduces the size of my pictures that I put on my blog posts. So I'm going to drag that in there, and then I'm going to download it again from TinyPNG, and it's an even smaller size. It got reduced by 24%, which helps with blog performance. So then all I do is just drag that in here, and I put it right after the title, and you can put yours wherever you want to, but that's just where I put mine. And then I go here to the post, and I hit set featured image. So this is going to be what people see if this came up in Google, for instance. It's going to be this image. So I'm just going to use the same image I just put in, and I'm going to use, it asks for alt text, and you always want to fill out alt text with something that describes the picture. So I put the alt text in there, and then hit set featured image. And then another thing I usually change is the link. It defaults to exactly the title that I put, the 70 affordable family Christmas gifts. And I usually don't keep the number in there in the URL, just because if I ever want to come back and update this post and say and make it 100 affordable Christmas gifts, then the URL isn't stuck at 70, and it doesn't say 70. So I can change the number if I update this post in the future, and it will make sense in conjunction with the URL. So yeah, I just go through here and I make sure everything looks good. Sometimes I increase the headers here for some of the main sections, so I might make these H2 headers, but I think I'll just leave these how they are. And then after this, I go through, I'm going to click post over here again, and then I scroll down, and then I'm going to write an excerpt, and that's going to show up also in Google if this ever comes up in a Google search, what my post is about. So I also have a specialized ChatGPT prompt that I use for that. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in ChatGPT and see what it gives me. So just something short. You don't want it too long, because usually in Google it gets cut off anyway. So this sounds good, I think. So I'm going to paste that in there, and then check all of this, and then I'm going to check the category that it belongs to on my blog, and go down. And also another thing I usually do is I create pins for each blog post, and I will put the pins in the actual pin image in each blog post. I'll put at least 2 or 3. But I haven't done the pins yet. I'm going to do that in a separate video. So once I do the pins, I'm going to come back in here and add those images. So now everything looks good. Make sure that my URL is right. And if you make a mistake, you can always come back and change anything that you want to in here. But one thing you can't change is the URL. So I always like to make sure that that looks okay. Let's see, I think affordable is spelled wrong. Let me try that again. Double check here with spell check. 70. I'm a horrible speller. Okay, so that is right. So I'm going to copy that and then change this link here. Actually, I'll change it up top because that's spelled incorrectly. Okay, let me hit save. And copy that in the URL. And that needs to be separated with dashes. And the only reason I'm having to do this is because I spelled affordable wrong to begin with. Usually it just automatically defaults to the title that you have up here. So you just want to make sure that that's right. Affordable family Christmas gifts. Okay. So then I'm going to save that again. And if everything looks good, then I go ahead and publish. And then it's asking if you're sure that you want to publish. Okay, so now I'm going to get the URL. Let's see, let me hit save again. And then it will bring up the URL. And then it gives you the option to view posts, and I usually just browse through it to make sure it looks okay. And then I also use this URL here, and I track them all of my blog posts here. Okay, so then that's on there. And then I take this URL also and I put it into Bing and Google so that they can index my posts for search. So hopefully when someone's searching for family Christmas gifts, my website might come up. So this is the Bing console where I submit my URL. So I just paste it in there. And then I do the same thing with the Google search console. And I just hit request indexing, and it takes a second, and then it gets indexed automatically. So that is it that I do for my blog process. It's pretty quick, especially with using ChatGPT, but again, always make sure to go back and review what ChatGPT has put. You don't ever want to just paste it in there exactly as is. So thank you for hanging out with me today, and I hope you get some ideas that you can put into action right away. Don't forget to grab my free guide, 15 things to do before you start pinning, to make sure your Pinterest account is set up the right way from the start. And if you're ready to really speed things up, my Pinterest starter system has everything you need to create, schedule, grow without spending hours on Pinterest and your blog every day. So I'll link those both below, and I will see you next time.